We detected unusual options activity on Microsoft, ticker symbol MSFT, today, January 17. And in this video, we will analyze these unusual options to find out how the wealthy investors are trading Microsoft behind the scenes. Are they bullish or bearish, given that yesterday Microsoft made an all-time high? And if you've been following this channel, you know that on January 10, on this day, before it made an all-time high, because this was the high here previously. So on January 10, we made this video and published it and shared it with everyone. The title was Why Microsoft Stock Will Hit New All-Time Highs. 7 days ago, January 10. And you can see that on the next day, January 11, we made an all-time high. You can see that here. So in just one day, this video came true. And if you want to see the video to see how we were able to predict this all-time high, we'll put a link at the top here on how we use this type of analyses to strategize and beat the market. So for today's unusual options, we will also again analyze and find out what is going to happen to Microsoft. So without further ado, let's get to it as usual. So for the options time and sales tape here, we can see here that there was 7,000 unusual options for the Januaries, 375 strike calls and puts. Okay, January 19. There was also these 400 strike calls for the February 16. Notice how there's multiple trades here. And then this May 435 strike calls. So we will be taking a look at these two sets of unusual options, 7,000 and the 2,300. Okay, so that is our plan for this video. January 19, let's start with the 7,000 one, the big one. January 19, so this expires in just 2 days. Okay, 375 strike. Here we are, 375 strike calls and puts. So on the put side, we can see that the open interest is 8,880, which is greater than 7,000. And also on the call side, the open interest is 20,143. This is also greater than 7,000. So this trader could be closing out of this trade and not necessarily opening this trade. There is a slight chance it is an opening trade, because you can see here that the volume is greater than the open interest, but it's just a slight chance that it is an opening trade. It is not as significant. Okay, so this is not as relevant to our analyses, because we want to find higher probability types of trades. Okay, so for this type of trade, we will neglect it for now until we get more data. And so at this moment, we would assume it has a higher chance of it being a closing trade. Okay. Two days away, January 19. So let's take a look at the February 16 and the May 17. Okay, 2,300. This was done at the same time. And what is most significant about this trade and different about the first trade here is that when we take a look at the Mays, we can see that the 435 strike calls are clearly opening trades. Open interest is only 481. Okay, so that is why we are simply in this position. You can see that the total cost of the trade, you can see for the May's 435s strike calls, they paid about 690. We can see from the other trades down here, they were paying about 702, 707, 700, 708. So about $700 for these 435 strike calls. So what could this mean? And what is the estimated value of this trade? We know there's about 17,000 contracts. We know that they paid about $700 each. So about $11.9 million. But it could have been different traders. We only know that there was one trade lot that was 2,300 at about that 700, so about 1.6 million, right? So this trader is clearly bullish. For their Februaries, we can see the February 16th here. At the 400 strikes, open interest of 28,000, volume 22,000. We believe they were closing out of this 400 strike calls. You can see that the open interest is greater. And so they were rolling to the Mays and rolling to a higher strike price of 435 for the Mays. So they were opening this to buy. So it's about $700. And so this is what their trade looks like. Okay, so clearly a bullish long trade, positive 26 delta. So we are simply in the same position here, because even though this is a potentially $11 million trade, this is Microsoft, a $1 trillion market cap company. So $11 million out of the $1 trillion market cap companies does not meet our threshold for a high probability of profit trade. And so keep that in mind, that even though this is in the millions, because the stock has such a large market cap, it is not as significant as the other stock picks that we typically choose for high probability of profit trades when they exceed $1 million in trade value. If you are interested in those stocks with higher chance of profit, we will put a link at the top here where you can learn more on how to gain access to our membership, where we share exclusive videos on these stocks. And again, if you haven't watched this video on January 10, when we predicted that Microsoft would make an all-time high, we'll put a link here, down here as well, so you can learn more on how we use this analysis and strategy to beat the market. Please smash the like button and subscribe if you haven't, and have a wonderful day.